drove away from the church, up the streets north of town, past the Veterans Hospital, to that field of brown. As we listened to them play the taps, and echoed in the sky, tears rolled down.
Hi, this is Brett Hall with Bible Belt Outdoors, bringing you another Ministry Minute. Today we're actually at my home in the yard gathering fruit, and we set these fruit trees out about 2 years ago, so they're not hardly developing, I guess, to full size to where we can start harvesting for our own consumption, but they are getting large enough that we're going to start harvesting them and taking them out and putting them around our deer plot to help bring wildlife and deer into our game camera setups and hopefully get to start putting that hit list together. And the scripture that I want to relate to this as we gather in this is from Matthew chapter 7, verse 16 through 20. It says, "You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor can a bad tree produce good fruit." And you know that's real relevant in our own lives. You can tell a lot about a person's character by the fruit that they bear in their life. Whether we're taking time out and being unselfish and taking that younger person out to the outdoors, whether hunting, fishing, you know, we're investing time in them. That is going to, in coming seasons, bear good fruit, because we're going to be passing on our knowledge to the next generation and hopefully passing on and preserving our heritage. And you know, that takes some investment and time to grow, and it'll eventually bear good fruit, and you can see that in people's life, that putting back. And then the same way with bad, you know, if you're not doing that and you do stuff for selfish reasons, that will start to show as different things start to hinder us or die off. Also, in John chapter 15, verse 5, it says, "I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he bears much fruit, for apart from me, you can do nothing." Now, as I look at this fruit tree, and it has branches, and it has a main stem and a root system. Now in this season, you know, August, we're approaching fall. It's getting at the time to harvest this. Throughout the spring and the summer, it started bearing leaves and good fruit. That's the season we're currently in, and with this tree. Now, if I was to snap this branch off, it could do nothing on its own. Especially now that it's in full bloom, it could actually hinder and start to diminish the rest of the fruit tree because of the season that's in. The sap has risen. Now, if you go to trimming some of these dead branches off, or some of these limbs that's not producing good, we would do that in a different season. We would do that during the winter when it's dormant. And I think that's a lot to do with the way that the church is going on in today's society, that as the church is growing and is thriving, that's really when it's the most vulnerable. That's when Satan's going to attack the most. That's when you could have division in the church. You may have some that have one vision, another group that has another vision, and we see a lot of church splits. And really what that does, it's like this tree, it's in its full bloom, it's fully growing at this time, which is when it's most vulnerable, because if I break that off, it can die. That limb can die, because that is, like I said, when the sap is rising. Same way with the church, when it splits at that critical time is when it's most detrimental. When a church is, we'll call it dead or dormant, it just doesn't seem to hurt it as much. You know, it's kind of like if I waited to the winter time to trim these branches. And you know, that's sad to say, but there's some truth to that. And that's what I want us to think about today, is where are you at in your season of life? You know, you've got to understand that, to know how to be living in the season we're in, where our vulnerabilities are, where our strongholds are, and what's holding us back from moving forward and producing that good fruit, or evaluate our life, and are we producing bad fruit? And know going into the next season when it's time to trim off some of that and evaluate that. That's really what I want to bring out today. Stay tuned. We're going to take these and we're going to go do our camera setup and get ready for bow season coming up here in North Alabama. Thanks. God bless you.
drove away from the church, up the streets north of town, past the Veterans Hospital, to that field of brown. As we listened to them play the taps, and echoed in the sky, tears